Just like every rose has its porn. Yes, Charlie Rose has been the latest ass-grab-tastic, clammy-fingered, squid-armed groper of women. Another male feminist who's come out as a serial abuser of women. I stand for women's rights. So I think you dropped your rights over there. Could you just go bend over and pick them up for a moment? And, of course, he's taking refuge in we men as a whole. This is like the Richard Dreyfuss syndrome as well. We men as a whole, we just need to do better. No! Not we men as a whole. You creeps in particular. Stop trying to hide behind the giant penises of virtuous men. Do not do it. You are a bad man. Stop abusing all men because you've been caught abusing some women. No! You do not stand with us. You are a creep and a nasty son of a bitch. Glenn Thrush. Oh, American journalist. He has been the White House correspondent for the New York Times since 2017, a contributor to MSNBC, and previously a senior staff writer for Politico from 2008 to 2016. And this married guy... I think in his 50s now, or he's hitting on all these 23-year-old women. Okay, first of all, stop drinking, everyone. Put down the alcohol and stop drinking. It doesn't make the other person more attractive. It just seems to give you the illusion that you have some kind of excuse for this nasty behavior. And I guess his move, Glenn's move, seems to be something like this. Get a young woman drunk, grab her leg, and stick your tongue in her ear. That seems to be the game that the guy has. Grabbing a limb and half eating an ear. Dude, that's not game. That's something a squid does when it's hungry. That is not attractive. My God, no wonder these women are all complaining about rape culture who work in the media and who work in Hollywood because they're around a bunch of bilge water barfing tiny dick scumbags. Oh. And these guys, the same with the politicians. There's some Republican ex-state senator pled guilty for child sex trafficking. The 17-year-old offering him. Oh. These people, they break their vows to their family. They're hitting on women 2 o'clock in the morning in some half-dark bar where everyone's burping up vestiges of bourbon and squid. They're breaking their vows to their family, but don't worry. They're totally going to tell you, the dear readers, the truth. Oh, the politicians, they're going to break their vows to their family, and they're going to do illegal, nasty stuff. Oh, the Congress stuff is going to come out, baby. They're going to get the full Weinstein treatment. But they break their vows to God and family, wife and children. But don't worry, they're totally going to keep their word to you, the dear voter. Who can believe any of this stuff anymore? And please, guys, if you have power over a woman, do not try to seduce her. It is not fair. Here's the game. If you want to see if you have game, if you want to see if women are interested in you because of you, rather than some reward you might be able to give them or some punishment you might inflict upon them for rejecting your advances. If you want to find out if you're really attractive to women, do what I did when I'm younger. Do the cold open. Yes, that's right. Walk up to a woman at a restaurant and introduce yourself. Walk up to sit next to a woman in a coffee shop. Strike up a conversation. Find out if you're attractive that way. Don't dangle power or punishment over her. That's such a self-humiliating admission that you are a sad sack of asexual shit sandwich that I don't even know what to say. Just don't. If you have power over a woman, don't hit on her. Don't hit on her. It's not fair. And this, see these people, they're all getting suspended on the left. Suspended, you see. Well, I would actually like to see them suspended. It's just over a gorge because they make my gorge rise. I'd like to see them suspended. Yeah, I would actually. But Roy Moore, because he signed a yearbook, well, actually, nobody seems to have actually seen him sign the yearbook. But, you see, he was around when the yearbook was around, possibly. So, he totally molested someone, right? These guys are suspended. See, Roy Moore has got to quit entirely. Al Franken, still around. And doesn't seem like even after the second accuser came and said he basically did a lefty squid attack on her buttocks at a fair some years back, he's going to hang in there. He's going to hang in there. And see, if you don't have any game, if you don't fundamentally feel that you have something to offer a woman or a man, I guess, you need power. And you also need to disguise yourself so that you can get in close. This is the real tragedy of this low self-esteem, this belief that you are not sexually attractive to, well, whoever you want to sexually attract. The male feminist strategy in a nutshell, ladies, is this. You know how a guy comes onto you, but you don't want to hurt his feelings, or maybe you just want to keep him around for when you need the couch moved. So you put him in the friend zone, right? You put him in the beta orbit zone. Yeah, you can call me once in a while. I'll complain to you about the bad boys who break my heart and watch your faith in the virtue of being a good man slowly dissolve and drivel away over the years. It can work the other way too. So a man who says he's a feminist wants to get into the friend zone around you. He wants you to confide in him, to spend time with him without feeling that you need to keep him at a distance from a romantic standpoint. So you're not attracted to him. I understand that. I mean, a woman knows within like 50 seconds if she's attracted to the man or not. So you're not attracted to him. But he says, basically, I'm like a brother. I'm a brother in arms. I'm a feminist, so you don't have to worry about me hitting on you. You can just put me in the friend zone. You can chat with me about stuff. I'll be emotional tampon. You can put me in the friend zone. I'm not going to hit on you. And then squid attack out of nowhere. And it's like this cuttlefish, like cuttlefish have this mating ritual where the male cuttlefish are fighting hard and battling with each other in order to get through to where the female cuttlefish are waiting down there on the coral bed. And I sound like that kid from Stranger Things now. Oh, that's not a good look. Or audio. But anyway, so the male cuttlefish are up there battling away. And do you know what some cuttlefish do? The male cuttlefish, they suck in their extremities and they make themselves look as much like females as possible. And then they slither along the floor to get to the females and try to mate with them that way. Well, that's the male feminist in a nutshell. Don't worry, I'm not going to hit on you because I'm just here for the sisterhood. Oh, and then you get hit on. Don't be a feminist as a mating strategy, because what happens is you have to escalate. If you're not being honest with the woman and say, you declare yourself like any sane human being, you find a woman you don't have power over and you say, hey, want to go on a date? Or I find you really attractive, let's chat, or whatever. You state your intentions up front so she can make the rational decision about whether she wants whatever you have to offer. But what happens is these guys want to get close to these girls by pretending that they're feminists. And then they get into this beta orbit. They get into the friend zone. And the women are like, okay, I can park you there. I want feminist things and you want feminist things. So let's link arms and march together. And what happens is the men get really, really frustrated because they're not there. Honestly, they're not there because they're attracted to the women. And it's a horrible strategy. It's a horrible, horrible strategy. And it's going to lead to just this kind of escalation. You just need to look into the mirror and say, what do I have to offer a woman? Like if you're a man, what do I have to? If the answer is, I have power over her, you're a horrible person if you use that power. You really, really are. Trust me. I've been a manager. I have a lot of power in the world. You have to be very sensitive about how you use it. This is for males or females. And this is something similar to there was a feminist I was reading who had this whole article about, well, we got to keep Al Franken in power. Even though he's accused of these terrible things, and there's a photograph of him doing something extraordinarily unsavory, I got to keep Al Franken in power. Because, you see, ladies, this is why you need to keep this grabtastic hobbit in power. Because he's on the left. He's a Democrat. So what he's going to do is going to make sure that all the free goodies keep flowing towards women. He's not going to cut back on the welfare state. He's not going to cut back on women's rights. He's not going to come back on women's entitlements. He's going to just keep all the goodies flowing. So in other words, the feminist is basically making an argument that goes something like this. Well, we're going to let this grabby, sexually harassy, tongue-jamming monster crap of a human being in power. Women need to be sacrificed. You gotta have your throat sucked once in a while. You gotta be sacrificed so that the government continue to give women free stuff. We'll trade sexual molestation for free stuff. I think there's a term for that. It escapes me now. Perhaps I haven't brushed up on my Latin as much as I should. So the basic reality is, look, Relations between men and women are in a pretty sorry state at the moment. Like, I just did this video for International Men's Day. Did you hear about that? No, didn't really hear about that. I bet you didn't, unless you heard it from here. Relations between men and women are in a pretty dismal state. And gender is a government program these days. Men are being taxed and women are being supported. Women are, in at least one study that I've read, I think it's out of New Zealand, women are a massive net drain on the tax system, while men are a massive gain to the tax system. So men are being taxed and women are being supported. Men are being taken from and women are being given to. And whenever you set up that kind of situation of win-lose combined with the blunt brute force of political power, you end up with a very unhealthy, pathological, increasingly resentful and entitled situation. And we need to get the government out of love. We need to get the government out of dating. We need to get the government out of the economy. We sure as hell need to get the government out of the relationships between men and women. The government screws up everything it touches. As the old saying goes, if the government was in charge of the Sahara Desert, it would be out of sand within about 10 years. And so we need freedom, we need consequences, and we need to recognize that when a woman is railing about men as a whole, about men in general, and patriarchy and privilege and cis this and rape culture that and so on, she's not talking about all men. She's not talking about me or my friends. Not talking about you, I hope. What is she talking about? She's talking about the men she has chosen to surround herself with, or the men she was involuntarily surrounded with when she was a child, when she was in the family which she did not choose, family she was born into. She's not talking about all men. She's talking about the men she knows. And that really tells you more about her than anything else.